Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in crypto and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, just like the thumbnail suggests, we're going to take a look at just what is going on with regulation as it's coming fast and heavy. And in all honesty, some things make sense as to why regulation is coming, and some make absolutely no sense. So first up, Uniswap Labs restricts access to certain tokens, citing evolving regulatory landscape. And this is in direct correlation to a story we covered 2 days ago, as SEC Chairman Gensler came out and says, look, if it's any kind of synthetics or as far as a security, it's going to fall under the SEC. So this one kind of makes sense. But then on the flip side is something that's going on as BlockFi says Vermont has joined ranks of states probing the crypto lender. This is the fourth state in as many days as they send them out a cease and desist letter for the Bitcoin interest account, which they say is a security. Makes no sense. So to really dig deep, we're going to have to take a look at the Celsius terms of service as it pertains and is different from the BlockFi terms of service and the BlockFi TOS of interest account terms. And then finally, we're just going to do a little light section here where the NFT for the Theta airdrop for Digital Asset News is out. And Mitch Liu, the CEO of Theta, says that trailer is awesome, and I have to agree. So we'll go over all those things, but first take a look at what's going on in the market. So today, it is the 24th of July, is Saturday, and hey, we're at 4%, almost $1.4 trillion, so pretty good weekend. We'll take a look at the coins that are being shuffled around, and Bitcoin's doing pretty good. Almost 34,000, maybe 35,000 by the end of the weekend. Who knows? Ethereum's above 2,000. Tether, nobody cares. Well, some people care. Binance Coin 297, Cardano $1.22 up 4%, and XRP in the 6th spot. Watch out. USDC, Dogecoin, everything's up pretty well. What's anything great up? ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, up 23%. Something to watch. That project, though, is a little bit too ambitious. I don't know if it's going to make it. Theta token, hey, 15%. Not too shabby. And then 3 and so on and so forth. So, oh, Terra Luna up 10%. Nice. So, look, if you're a big trader, I'm really not, but take a look at Trade the Chain for a sentiment analysis. We're going in the projected range. So, between negative 1% and 10%, with 90% accuracy. Look at Origin Protocol, Hi-Fi Finance, iExec, Flow, Dapper, Reserve, right, Q-Link, and ICP. So that's what's going on in the market. Let's just break into it and talk about exactly what's going on as far as Uniswap essentially backing down. And I can see why they did it. It was actually a smart move, and we're gonna talk about why. So Uniswap Labs cited the evolving regulatory landscape in its explanation of cuts. And it states that the list that Uniswap published included more than 100 tokens. And these range from tokenized stocks, mirror stocks, options, derivatives. Examples include Tether Gold, open options, on ETH at different strikes and expirations, synthetics, products, and other coins and stocks, tokenized versions of Zelda and Mini Mario. I didn't know that was a thing, Mini Mario Cash. UMI, yield dollars, and stocks like Mirror Amazon and Mirror Tesla. So here's the thing. This came about from, it was a statement by Gensler. He was speaking at the Bar Association, some type of event. And he said, look, even if you're not directly involved with securities, stocks, and you have some kind of like synthetics where like you just saw that in Uniswap, it wasn't the actual stock. It was a replacement for the stock. It was what would be considered a synthetic or a derivative, and you're delving with that in cryptocurrency digital assets. That falls under the SEC, and that makes sense because it's a stock. It is a synthetic of a stock, so why wouldn't it fall on the SEC? And I get that, and I'm okay with going that route because that's what the SEC does as far as securities. So if we get a little clarity, that is good. Now we can figure out, okay, with the SEC, we know it's a security. With the CFTC, we know it's a commodity. With the OCC, we know it's a currency. If we can just get that part down, I think we'd be in a much better position moving forward. And I'm glad that we're seeing this clarity. What I don't understand, though, is the next story about BlockFi regulation and what the heck's going on as far as like the fourth state. So this is an ongoing situation. And nobody seems to get the right information, not the right information, but the total story, because there's so many things that are leaking out. I don't understand what's going on here. We'll try to do our best by taking a look at terms of services. So embattled crypto lender BlockFi is facing scrutiny from regulators in the fourth state, Vermont, over the legality of its interest account product. And before I go on, think about all the different exchanges and brokerages that actually give interest on all the different crypto. Bitcoin being probably one of the bigger ones. So you can think about Celsius, you can think about Voyager, even though it's a brokerage. You can think about Gemini, you can think about Coinbase, you can think about Binance, you can think about all the ones that are out there that are doing this same type of thing. So will this actually go away? Well, I will tell you this, it sure would suck if it did, because you can gain some pretty great yield on your cryptocurrency. Or if you want to, you can go to a bank and earn like a whopping 0.02 or 0.5%. And this was actually a little piece from Digital Dave. Thanks, man. That's actually pretty funny. So again, if you want to do something like that, I mean, sure, but this is the way as far as like yield goes. And maybe banks are just speaking up going, this isn't fair because, well, step up and actually give a product that people actually want. So increase the yield, whatever. Well, anyhow, security regulators in Vermont have issued an order on the matter. What the order said is not yet known. It comes as agencies in Alabama, Texas, and New Jersey are investigating whether the firm's marquee offering, the BlockFi interest account, violates local securities laws. All right. New Jersey has given BlockFi until July 29th to explain itself before the state bars the firm from opening new accounts. Look, if that happens, it happens. It's kind of like Voyager. Voyager can't be in New York. Some other exchanges can't be in New York because they're just New York. And, you know, you have to get this bit license, and it's like, and I've heard the stories, it's like a fat paperwork that you have to fill out, and it never gets approved. There's like only a handful. I think Gemini is one of them. I think Coinbase. But I know like some of the big exchanges, they just can't get through. So whatever. If New Jersey doesn't want to do it, it's fine. And then we'll just go from there. So this actually stems from the article we covered yesterday, which again, Texas, and it's the same type of thing. They're saying it's a alleged sale of an unregistered security. And it's like all these states, they kind of like, they see these things, they want to protect people, or they're just like, we should really step in for whatever reason and just, make an example. I'm not sure. But I can say this, there is some information that can be gleaned from the Celsius terms of service and the BlockFi terms of service. Because if it's just BlockFi right now, why isn't it also Celsius? Why isn't the other exchanges getting hit with these cease and desist all at the same time if they're really trying to protect everybody? Which I'm not saying they are or not. I'm not here to lead anybody down a path. I just present the information, and it's up to you to decide. So what I'd like to do real quick is take a look at the terms of service. And people have been asking me to actually do this now for a couple of days now, and they're kind of a little bit hesitant because of this new language. And I'm telling you right now, when I read this, I was like, makes sense. So let's just go over it real quick. I'm going to paraphrase here, but some of this stuff is just the things that you see. This is basic legal jargon for all the different terms of services. So every type of exchange is going to have something like this. Celsius is subject to AML, KYC, and U.S. sanction requirements under the Bank Secrecy Act, uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism, or the USA Patriot Act and the Office of Foreign Assets Control. Great. So doing their job. Your Celsius account is not a deposit or checking account, and Celsius does not hold any digital assets on your behalf. Let me read that again. This is a big thing, and we're going to explain why in a second. Your Celsius account is not a deposit or checking account, and Celsius does not hold any digital assets on your behalf. But Rob, I transfer my crypto into Celsius and I gain yield. Don't they now own that? No, you own that. You just gave it to them for a little bit of time. You're just loaning it out. Nothing really is going on there. So all eligible digital asset balances on your account represent digital assets are either loaned from you to Celsius or held by it as collateral if you're going to do some kind of loan, which I actually have right now. And therefore owned, held, and are controlled by Celsius under the applicable service as further detailed herein. And Celsius' obligation to deliver such digital assets back to you upon the termination of the applicable service. So look, they're not holding anything. You're just giving it out, and you're just loaning it to them for a bit. And it's all about in the wording of how you do the legalities of your terms of service and how you write everything that kind of comes in play. And this is why I think there's a difference between Celsius, the way they wrote things, and the way that BlockFi did, just a little bit. And I think it might be enough. Now, does this mean that's the only reason? No, it's not the only reason, but I think it could play a part into it. To further move on, Earn Rewards is not an investment program, nor a speculative tool. Rather, you are earning rewards as a financing fee on the loan of digital assets you have transferred to Celsius. Then to further go on, all digital assets transferred to Celsius as part of the services are owned and held by Celsius for its own account in accordance with these terms. And under no circumstances does Celsius hold digital assets on your behalf as part of the services. They're not holding your stuff. You're not holding it. This is a much, much different thing, right? Then to finish up, eligible digital assets are not legal tender. Celsius is not a bank. And your Celsius account is not a deposit account. And they made this very clear like 3 or 4 times here. Eligible digital assets represented in your Celsius account are not held by Celsius as a custodian or fiduciary, are not insured by any private or governmental insurance plan, including the FDIC or Securities Investor Protection Corp, and are not covered by any compensation. Your Celsius account does not constitute an investment contract or a security. It is not transferable and may not be traded, exchanged, or sold to any third parties. And then Celsius and our third-party partners may experience cyber attacks. And this is one of those things that people were like, this scares them when they hear this, but just wait. Extreme market conditions or other operational or technical difficulties which could result in the immediate halt of transactions either temporarily or permanently, provided that Celsius has taken reasonable commercial and operational measures to prevent such events in technical systems controlled by Celsius. Celsius is not and will not be responsible or liable for any loss or damage of any sort incurred by you as a result of a cyber attack. So here's the thing. When you read that, you're like, shoot. So if they get hacked, if a crazy Mt. Gox situation happens, what happens to my crypto if it gets hacked and it gets out of there? You're SOL. And that's really what it comes down to. They are not responsible for your cryptocurrency that gets hacked. Now, having said all that, Celsius has never been hacked. Celsius has very few liquidations, even during those black swan events when crypto plummeted 50 to 60%. They do everything in their power to make sure that the community is safe. And I believe Alex. And I trust that sector. I trust Alex and I trust what he's doing. He's already had a bunch of different businesses that have been pretty successful and successful exits. So when people talk to me, they're like, well, I don't know about this. This doesn't make sense because I'm worried that this is going to happen. Then don't put your money on Celsius. But don't put your crypto on Celsius. I talk about this all the time. If you're not comfortable, you need to put in cold storage and you shouldn't gain yield. Don't come to me and complain about, well, I want yield, but I want 100% security. It's not going to happen. Now, if some kind of program comes out where they offer insurance, where you pay for that insurance, I'd pay for that. Alex, I hope you're listening. That would be fantastic. But here's the thing. It's not offered right now. So if you are not comfortable having it on Celsius, don't put it on Celsius. Don't put it on Voyager. Don't put it on any exchange. Keep it in cold storage. However, if this is what I do, and I can't tell you what to do. This is investment opinion, not investment advice. I have it on a swath of exchanges, but the majority is still in my ledger. So I have some on Celsius, I have some on Voyager, I even have some on Gemini. I'm even lazy and I haven't taken stuff off of Coinbase because I've been buying Solana, but I haven't got a chance to take it off because, again, lazy. That's just my fault. So really when it comes down to it, just weigh the options and weigh the risks and just make the best decision for you. And to finish up, on the last part here, we have the right to suspend, freeze, or close your Celsius account at any time for any reason without advance notice, including by blocking your access to the account or the services. And people have read this and they've come to me like, Rob, they're going to block me and they can do it at any time and they're going to keep all my money and all my crypto. I don't like that. That's not what they're saying. The next sentence says, if your Celsius account has a balance, when we close it, we will repay and return the remaining digital assets to you, including accrued rewards earned until the close date, less any applicable obligations. So look, it's just like putting down a deposit on an apartment. Well, not specifically, but if you owe them something, they're going to take it out of your balance and return the rest. Great. Okay. I'm okay with that. Makes sense to me. Maybe you don't. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's take a look at just 2 pieces here for the BlockFi terms of service. And this is really what it comes down to. There's the basic here. The same thing that was said in Celsius, you're solely responsible for all activity that occurs on or under your BlockFi account. Essentially, if something gets hacked, we're not going to be held responsible. That's really what it comes down to. And then I thought this was interesting. BlockFi is registered with the U.S. Department of Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, as a money services business, an MSB. And then it says as MSB, KYC, AML. But this is the part that I found interesting, which was the interest account terms. This is the part that the 4 states are really looking into. And it comes down to this. You can open your account by transferring eligible crypto to the wallet address provided in your BlockFi account. Your crypto will be accepted by BlockFi Trading LLC and then will be transferred to BlockFi, which will act as holder of your crypto interest account. So a little bit different than how Celsius has it worded. And then lastly, it states if you have a crypto interest account, all assets purchased through BlockFi Trading shall be immediately debited and credited to your crypto interest account held by BlockFi, and BlockFi Trading LLC will have no further liability or obligation to you in connection with such assets. So it's just a small variation of what was said here and how they actually classify or do things as far as like BlockFi and Celsius. Do I think it's enough to where 4 states should come after them and go, this is security, we're gonna shut you down? No. But I'm not a lawyer, and I don't even play one on TV. So if you've got any kind of information, please put it in the description below. Hopefully I can get like Alex or Steve on the show to shed some light on what the heck is going on and what they're doing, because this is also what could be said as far as like for the regulators to go, hey, you're offering an interest account, we want to talk to you. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and then let's finish up right here with the Theta drop and the NFT. And I'm not going to go over, I'm just going to play the trailer as we get out of here. And that is it. But I will say this. I want to say thank you to Ivory, Symbiotic Creatives. They did a great job. They did the NFT for the Theta drop, and they did the trailer for the Theta drop. And you can kind of see what the NFT is going to be, which is going to be available in a week or two. And that's really it. So if you liked the video, found a little value, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. And that is it. So lastly, here is the trailer for the NFT for Theta. Adios.